The bulk import feature is a separately licensed HRM module that is useful for clients who have requirements to perform bulk data operations in the HRM system. If data is to be added for multiple new employees, then using this feature will significantly save time. This sheet should only be downloaded after the completion of all key configurations in the Blue Bison system. To fill in the employee import Excel sheet, you will need to have the following information about each employee on hand. Number 1. General information such as their names, email addresses, salaries, divisions, departments, etc. Number 2. Bank account details including the type of account. Though the next few components are not mandatory for uploading new employees into the Blue Bison system, but the option to upload income, deduction, and employer contribution categories are also available. To download the template file, head over to Employee, add New Employee, then New Employee Import. You can always review this page by clicking this help icon for more information. On point number 3, select your jurisdiction and download the Employee Import template file from item number 4 by clicking here. Open the downloaded file and click Enable Content at the top of the sheet. This sheet has 6 tabs. All sheets are password protected to ensure that accidental changes to their data are avoided since there are various formulas operating in the background. Do not delete or rename any columns as this will cause the HRM system to throw errors when you are attempting to upload the completed file. If you would like to unprotect any of the sheets, then you can right-click on it and hit Unprotect Sheet. Use the password mail_123 then hit Enter or OK. Review the column names in the sheet before entering any data. Ensure that you have data for each employee for all columns in the red font as these are mandatory fields. This means that information must be entered into these columns for a successful import. Though yellow column names are conditionally mandatory, it will not affect the import if these fields are not populated. White column names are non-mandatory. When copy-pasting information from an external source, copy one column at a time to avoid overwriting any hidden columns. Copy only values instead of formatting. Set numbers as plain text to avoid Excel applying auto-format to large numbers in exponential format. Date format should be day, month, then year. The only 2 tabs we'll be focusing on today are the Employee General and Bank Account tabs. Let us go through the Employee General sheet first. Column A is the record number. This column will be used to house sequential numbers example 1, 2, 3, etc. Select the last 2 numbers, then place your mouse on the lower right side of the last cell until you see a small black cross. Drag it down until the last employee's row. This shortcut can be applied to multiple columns for quicker data entry. Column B is used to record the employee's code. This is a unique code assigned to every new hire in a company. These codes can be alphanumeric and make it easier for employees to be identified. Columns D to H are self-explanatory. Use the drop-downs to make a selection. If you are copying information, please ensure that all descriptions are identical to those configured in your Blue Bison system. Check whether there are any spaces before or after the data you've pasted. Columns I and J are not mandatory, however you can select the employee's status and profession from their drop-downs. The job title column is another mandatory field. Make certain a selection is made here. The job serial number applies to any employees with an immigration status. The numeric values for this field can be from 1 to 9999. Let us move on to the job code. This usually applies if you have employees who fulfill various roles in the company. For example, if a front desk agent at a hotel moves to a concierge role, then his or her default job title would be front desk agent, but the concierge job code would be assigned here. If this is not applicable, then choose None in the drop-down box option. For the employee's first and last names, you should not include any symbols like hyphens, apostrophes, or tildes. Time Manager 1 and 2 refers to the individuals who will be approving this employee's leave. Since you have no employees loaded into the Blue Bison system yet, then select Admin from the drop-down under the Time Manager 1 column. Once the employees are uploaded, then the correct time manager can be assigned through their profiles. HR manager is the person who makes the final decision on the employee's leave requests. Since time manager 2 and HR manager are not mandatory fields, then they can be left blank. The home and work email refers to the employee's company-issued and personal email addresses. If they do not have a company email, then confirm with this individual whether they would like to receive their payslips and password reset mail via their personal email address. Once they have consented, insert their email address into the work email field, as this is the column the system uses to forward mail to employees. Address, date of birth, gender, hire date, salary amount and currency are straightforward. In the salary period column, insert the appropriate answer based on the salary amount you previously entered. For example, if you entered $4,000 in the salary amount, then this would most likely be an employee's monthly pay. If you entered $20, then this would be an hourly rate. Pay frequency refers to how often the employees get paid. This can be weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, etc. You can use column AC to define your employee's username. This only applies if you are allowing your staff members access to the self-service portal. To keep their username and employee code the same, just leave this section blank. If you'd like to create different usernames, then enter unique login names for each employee here. This next column is where you will assign the user's role, example HR manager, system administrator, or employee. This selection also ties back to your user security roles, where you can enable or revoke access to certain components of the Blue Bison system. To assign the attendance entitlement plans and policies, use this column to allocate a suitable plan to this employee. In the payment mode section, use S for employees who will be receiving their pay via direct deposit. Alternatively, C can be used for those who will be issued checks. The next 5 columns relating to pension and health are not mandatory fields, however we recommend completing them to save time. The final column for the employee's health insurance contribution should not be filled out if this has already been configured in your Blue Bison system. Once you are satisfied, insert the acronym EOR, meaning end of record, in the last cell of column A to let the system know that there are no more entries to validate. Let's move on to the employee bank account sheet. The record number column uses sequential numbers similar to the general sheet. You can copy and paste the employee codes from the previous sheet into this next column to save time. Select the employee's bank name from this drop-down box and enter their name and account numbers in the next 2 columns. Define the type of bank account by typing SV for savings account or CK for checking account. This field is not mandatory and will not have a significant effect if filled out incorrectly. In the amount or percentage column, specify whether the employee's wage is divided between various bank accounts. This can be done by entering the amount or percentage in the appropriate row and 0 in the next. For example, if this employee requires $500 to go to their savings account and the balance to their default account, then you would 0 in their default account row, then $500 in their secondary bank account row. For the employees who do not have this requirement, just enter 0 to let the system know that all funds are to be directed to one account. Choose True from the drop-down in the next column if this is the default bank account for this employee. Alternatively, select False if this is the secondary account. The order number column refers to the employee's default and secondary bank accounts. If the employee only has one bank account, then enter 0 in this field. In the case where the employee has 2 or more accounts, then enter 0 in the default account row and 1 in the secondary account row, and so on. Select the currency in which your company will be paying this employee here, then choose True in the next column to signify that their bank account is active. In this final section, choose the company bank account where the employee will be paid their wages from. Again, once satisfied, enter EOR in the last row of column A. As mentioned at the beginning of this video, the next 3 tabs are not mandatory. Just enter EOR in the first cell of column A in each additional sheet to notify the system that there are no records to verify. Review the document in its entirety and then hit Save. Head back to the Blue Bison system and navigate to Employee, add New Employee, then New Employee Import. Choose the same jurisdiction that was previously selected when downloading the template sheet. Hit the Choose File button, select the saved file and click Import. This may take some time as the system needs to validate all of the information entered. A pop-up window will appear with a detailed log of your import attempt. If there are any errors, the system will show where the error occurred and what the issue is. Click Cancel, then go back to your Excel sheet to review and correct any problems. Repeat this step until there are 0 issues. Click Continue here and OK on the next pop-up. If the import was done correctly, a message will appear saying New Employee Information Import processed successfully. To confirm the status of the importation, check the import log grid below. This gives a breakdown of each sheet with its successful or failed number of records. We understand how challenging it is to gather, enter, and import all of this information when configuring your Blue Bison system, but we solicit your patience during this process and urge you to review the data to ensure its accuracy. If you have any questions regarding this process, please visit our knowledge base or contact our implementation team. Thank you for using Blue Bison.